I'm Mike.
And I'm Derek, and we're in the Faceless.
If I could address one subject, probably been asked to you recently. You supposedly left the band.
Yeah, I did for a little bit, and I went back to school and graduated, got my BA, and I realized there's really nothing to do afterwards, so I came crawling back.
And they took you back.
Yep, they still hadn't found like a permanent replacement, so rather than continuing the search for someone new, I'll just go back with what we know.
We were all very understanding of the reasons they left. It was a pretty reasonable thing, I think. So, but I think we're all in a better place in our lives now. So,
Yeah, when I left, I made it clear that I didn't really want to leave, but I only had one semester left in school, so I made it clear I felt like I had to do that, but I was really not happy about leaving. But I felt like even though that I wasn't happy, that I had something else to do that I had set out before I had joined the band. So I had to complete my goal.
What were you studying?
I studied film and television production, radio, so just multimedia production pretty much.
Did you feel you learned anything of substance that you could apply in the real world?
Yeah, I definitely did, but what I've realized through that is I was learning about the entertainment industry, and so that's what I'm involved in the band. So even if whatever we stop moving forward as a band, I still can apply what I've learned in the band as a learning experience, as a job reference, as anything, because it's still under the greater umbrella of what I studied.
Interesting things you learned, things that really struck you, changed you, moved you.
The big thing I learned is that it takes a really long time to do a lot of nothing. I shot 7 hours of tape and used 4 minutes of it. So it's it takes 20 hours to get a minute of good stuff, especially in the real world. And another thing is it takes a lot of time. It's even true in music, it takes more time to set up and get ready than it does to view your final product. It's just, you have to have patience if you're working on it, because what you might see happen over the course of 45 minutes, an hour and a half, really took 500 hours of someone else's work. And that's what we just experienced with our recording of our new album. He especially put hundreds and hundreds of hours into it. But when someone listens to it, they're not gonna see that, or maybe not appreciate that. So maybe the viewers can look at what we did and all the work we put into it, just hours and hours of time.
I think when you log onto a website like Lambgoat or something like that, and you see just everyone bagging on everything, it's easy to look past that kind of stuff, Just because you don't like something doesn't necessarily mean that someone didn't pour their heart and soul into it and work who knows how long on it, and people just tear it apart, I don't know. That's something I always try to consider, even if I don't like a film, even if I don't like a band, whatever. It's that's their vision, it's what they're trying to do, and ultimately, I'm sure they probably are pretty proud of it. So
Who were some filmmakers or some films that you really appreciated?
To be honest, I try not to watch that many movies, or I watch almost no TV, and I try my hardest to really not watch that many movies either.
What are your reasons?
Whenever I do end up watching TV, I feel like it's completely catered to, for lack of a less offensive term, really stupid people, and I think it's almost offensive to me when I watch television, how dumb the media takes people to be. and I don't know. I feel like the more TV that you watch, the more influenced by other people's agendas you become, rather than thinking for yourself and choosing your own life path.
How about you, Mr. Filmmaker?
Some of my favorite movies, is that what we're on?
Or do you hate, or are you critical of the media complex he is?
I don't really watch TV. But there are some shows I really like. Even if I can recognize their stupidity, I can still sit back and enjoy them. But my favorite movie is probably Mulholland Drive, with David Lynch, or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind a lot. I don't know. I kind of have like the film school repertoire of films I like, I guess. But I like all the HBO shows. Those are pretty good. And there's a lot of stuff I haven't watched that I've heard is really good, but I don't have cable. I don't feel necessary to pay. I downloaded a bunch of stuff to watch on tour, but I never got around to it. So.
Do you, I guess, take interest in any conspiracy theories? Do any?
Oh yeah, big time. Well, actually, that's kind of the basis of our new album. Our new album's it's a concept album, and it's largely about conspiracy theory and it's about aliens and it's about like the belief that our whole world and society is directly influenced by aliens, and it's about the secret agendas of our governments and one world government and all that.
So everything in society is put in place, whether you know it or not, and it's just kind of gaining the consciousness that probably not in control, even if they want you to think you are, and that it's kind of also it's against government, it's against religion as a force of just like how people create these things to control, and they guise it as like, this is your help, this is salvation, but it's really, this is like control, and slavery is what it's like. How things usually cause what we're told is right, what's good, what usually is harmful in some way or another.
Yeah, but the way people live their life based on dogmatic principles that really mean nothing, and never question the reasons why they do the things they do, or the reasons why something is right and the reasons why something is wrong, or who installed that in them and why they installed that in them.
Any last quick shout outs to people who've supported you? You want to give a little word out to people who you like?
Or books to read, or
Books to read.
Books to read.
Books to read, do that.
Well, if you want to, if you want a fun read, I'm not gonna say you have to believe it or anything, but if you want a fun read, pick up "Children of the Matrix" by David Icke. It's what we largely based most of the lyrics on the new album off of.
Should probably give a shout out to all the bands we're on tour right now: Neuraxis, Veil of Maya, Decrepit Birth, and Abigail Williams.
Absolutely.
And our record label, Sumerian Records, we have a new album coming out on November 11th. So, Planetary Duality, get into it.